Hi, this is Will, the Datatician, with an update on Adit, my virtual reality data visualization app for RStudio Shiny and Mozilla A-Frame WebVR. Today I'm going to be talking about some performance improvements, and our featured data set is diamonds from ggplot2. In the original launch of Adit, I used a separate entity to represent each point in the plot, but this had some serious performance limitations. It could run about 100 points at a full 90 frames per second, which you need for VR. You see here, bumping it up to even 300 dropped the frame rate to 45. It's locked in at reprojection because it can't keep up. I'm also going to show you what happens if you try to increase even beyond that. I'm going to bump the number of points plotted up to 2500, and we'll see the performance slowly degrade from there. This process also added 1 point every tick of the cycle to keep from blocking while adding all the new entities, so as the frame rate drops, the speed that it's adding points also gets slower and slower. So I've sped this up quite a bit, and you see it drops until it gets below 20 frames per second. At that point, SteamVR takes over and you can't even see it through the headset anymore. Now, with the new version, I have implemented geometry instancing to allow the GPU to plot the same points over and over again very efficiently. So here we can see at 300, absolutely no problem, still running at 90 frames per second. I'm going to keep bumping that up to see where the limits are. Here we are at 5,000 points, and it is running perfectly, a full 90 frames per second, and no stuttering or judder as I move the controllers or change my view. Next up, we have 10 and then 20,000 points. You also notice with this new system, changing the number of points goes much quicker. I can run it all in a single frame because it's just going over a loop. As we get up to 30,000 points, now here we start to see a little bit of judder when I move the controller. So we're going into asynchronous reprojection, but overall it's still running at 90 frames per second, and static objects like the plot itself work perfectly smoothly. Finally, we're going to bump it all the way up to the 53,000 diamond sales that are in this data set. And you'll see that performance here drops back down to 45 frames per second in reprojection. And part of this is because this is 50,000 spheres we're plotting. Spheres are pretty complex objects. I'm clocking 25 million faces there. So what I do here is I map the diamond cut to the shape variable, so we get more of a variety of simpler shapes. Now this drops the number of faces being rendered to 5 million, and at this point we are rendering all 50,000 data points perfectly smoothly at 90 frames per second with no reprojection whatsoever. Got some other more exciting changes to be talking about soon for Adit. There are some brand new aesthetic mappings, new ways of mapping data to visual aspects of graphs that have never been done before in flat visualization, but are possible now that we are visualizing in 3 dimensions in virtual reality.